He that is merciful will lend to his neighbor, and he that strengthens his hand keeps the commandments. Lend to your neighbor in the time of his need, and pay your neighbor again in due season. Keep your word and deal faithfully with him, and you will always find the thing that is necessary for you. Many, when a thing was lent to them, reckoned it to be found, and put them to trouble that helped them. Till he has received, he will kiss a man's hand, and for his neighbor's money he will speak submissively. But when he should repay, he will prolong the time, and return words of grief, and complain of the time. If he prevail, he will hardly receive the half, and he will count as if he had found it. If not, he has deprived him of his money, and he has gotten him an enemy without cause. He pays him with cursings and railings, and for honor he will pay him disgrace. Many therefore have refused to lend for other men's ill dealing, fearing to be defrauded. Yet have patience with a man in poor estate, and delay not to show him mercy. Help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Lose your money for your brother and your friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. Lay up your treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it will bring you more profit than gold. Shut up alms in your storehouses, and it will deliver you from all affliction. It will fight for you against your enemies better than a mighty shield and a strong spear. An honest man is a surety for his neighbor, but he that is impudent will forsake him. Forget not the friendship of your surety, for he has given his life for you. A sinner will overthrow the good estate of his surety, and he that is of an unthankful mind will leave him in danger that delivered him. Suretyship has undone many of good estate, and shaken them as a wave of the sea. Mighty men has it driven from their houses, so that they wandered among strange nations. A wicked man transgressing the commandments of the Lord will fall into suretyship, and he that undertakes and follows other men's business for gain will fall into suits. Help your neighbor according to your power, and beware that you fall not into the same. The chief thing for life is water, and bread, and clothing, and a house to cover shame. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage, than delicate fare in another man's house. Be it little or much, hold you contend, that you hear not the reproach of your house. For it is a miserable life to go from house to house, for where you are a stranger, you dare not open your mouth. You will entertain and feast, and have no thanks. Moreover, you will hear bitter words. Come, stranger, and furnish a table, and feed me of that you have ready. Give place, you stranger, to an honorable man. My brother comes to be lodged, and I have need of my house. These things are grievous to a man of understanding, the upbraiding of house room, and reproaching of the lender. He that loves his son causes him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastises his son will have joy in him, and will rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teaches his son grieves the enemy, and before his friends he will rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he has left one behind that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that will requite kindness to his friends. He that makes too much of his son will bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry. A horse not broken becomes headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful. Cocker your child, and he will make you afraid. Play with him, and he will bring you to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest you have sorrow with him, and lest you gnash your teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn, and be disobedient to you, and so bring sorrow to your heart. Chastise your son, and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense to you. Better is the poor, being sound and strong of constitution, than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. Delicates poured upon a mouth shut up, or as messes of meat set upon a grave. What good does the offering to an idol? For neither can it eat nor smell. So is he that is persecuted of the Lord. He sees with his eyes and groans, as a eunuch that embraces a virgin and sighs. Give not over your mind to heaviness, and afflict not yourself in your own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongs his days. Love your own soul, and comfort your heart. Remove sorrow far from you, for sorrow has killed many, and there is no profit therein. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and anxiety brings age before the time. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. Watching for riches consumes the flesh, and the care thereof drives away sleep. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaks sleep. The rich has a great labor in gathering riches together. When he rests, he is filled with his delicates. The poor labors in his poor estate, and when he leaves off, he is still needy. He that loves gold will not be justified, and he that follows corruption will have enough thereof. Gold has been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block to them that sacrifice to it, and every fool will be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and has not gone after gold. Who is he? And we will call him blessed, for wonderful things has he done among his people. Who has been tried thereby, and found perfect? Then let him glory. Who might offend, and has not offended, or done evil, and has not done it? His goods will be established, and the congregation will declare his alms. If you sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye? Therefore it weeps upon every occasion. Stretch not your hand whithersoever it looks, and thrust it not with him into the dish. Judge not your neighbor by yourself, and be discreet in every point. Eat as it becomes a man, those things that are set before you, and devour not, lest you be hated. Leave off first for manner's sake, and be not unsatiable, lest you offend. When you sit among many, reach not your hand out first of all. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetches not his wind short upon his bed. Sound sleep comes from moderate eating. He rises early, and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching, and choler, and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man. If you have been forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and you will have rest. My son, hear me and despise me not, and at the last you will find as I told you. In all your works be quick, so will there no sickness come to you. Whoso is liberal of his meat, men will speak well of him, and the report of his good housekeeping will be believed. But against him that is stingy of his meat, the whole city will murmur, and the testimonies of his stinginess will not be doubted of. Show not your valiantness in wine, for wine has destroyed many. The furnace proves the edge by dipping, so does wine the hearts of the proud by drunkenness. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad. Wine measurably drunk, and in season, brings gladness of the heart, and cheerfulness of the mind. But wine drunken with excess makes bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling. Drunkenness increases the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminishes strength, and makes wounds. Rebuke not your neighbor at the wine, and despise him not in his mirth. Give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink.